everybody here at LaMalfa, Marty, and all the crew, you do a great job. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thanks to everybody who put so much effort into making this happen. Jensen and Matt especially, but most especially my beautiful wife, Deb. The show couldn't go on without her. We all know that. I think back in the day when we sent this little girl off to LaSalle University, and the first apartment or dorm room that she went into had a bullet on, and so it was a little indifferent, you know, and boy did she suck it up for the fam, and stay there, yeah, and the bed bugs the first year.
Had it all.
Yeah, she had it all going on. But and I don't know if everybody knows it too, but her actual name is Lewis. Where's Greg being at? Mr. Nickname. There he is. So Jensen Lewis was a pitcher on the Cleveland Indians team, and when she was about 12 years old, her name became Lewis because her name was Jensen, and so she's in my phone as Lewis and not even as Jensen. But also, everybody knows we've got, you know, the 4-on-1 deal here back in the day, right? 4 girls, 1 dad. You know, everybody feels bad for Greg. Especially Greg. But, you know, Cody comes in, right? The odds get better, but then he has Everly. You know, and he's going downhill. But then we do get crew, right? Now, Matt coming aboard, I mean, the odds are getting closer. Now, Matt is officially off of probation. Ryan, I don't know if you're ever going to get it. But maybe in a year from now you will. But we're happy to have you on board. And what I love most about you too is just, you know, how dedicated you are to be a student athlete in this world and to work so hard and become what you both have become. I'm just so proud and so blessed, you know, to be here and being a part of this. And Matt, you know, love you. Cody, Ryan, you know, all you guys. Now, from a favorite perspective, I mean, really, Miss Everly probably, you know, takes the cake. But tonight, you're my favorite.
Just one day.
Don't take that. I'll take my dad.
Now, we're missing a lot of people. It's been a tough couple years. But I know your dad is playing the accordion with a big smile in his face up in the sky. And he's very happy for you too. And as all of we are, so we wish you the best. And let's have a great night. And we wish you the best. Love forever. Congratulations. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to this beautiful evening celebrating Jensen and Matt. I'm Bailey, Jensen's older sister, and I'm Taylor, Jensen's younger sister. I'm the oldest, the firstborn, the angel child. Or so I told I was, until a certain someone was born. Jensen came along and rocked my world, and it hasn't been the same since. Growing up, having a little sister meant I had a sidekick everywhere I went, whether I wanted one or not. I know it many times I did not. However, looking back now, I realize you were just looking up to me, wanting to do everything I did and be just like me. If only I could have appreciated that then as much as I do now. Being your older sister has been one of the greatest joys in my life. I have loved being able to help guide you in some ways, most of them being positive ways, or at least I thought they were. But one positive example would be playing volleyball. If it wasn't for me, you probably would have never started playing. So you copied me and then clearly outdid me in the athletic department. Having Jensen as my mini-me growing up was nothing short of awesome. We were the perfect family of 4.
Well, I was going to say, and then I came along, but it seems like everyone got that message for me.
was born, I was basically Jensen's shadow. I mean, who are we kidding? I kind of still am. Whether it was taking the same classes at school, or wanting the same teacher, or needing to have a boyfriend because my sister had a boyfriend, anything Jensen did, I had to do too. All I wanted to do was be like my sister. I think every single memory I have from childhood includes Jensen. A lot of the times, I don't think she necessarily wanted me to be there, but it's not like she had a choice. The best part about living in Jensen's shadow was actually learning what not to do. But you know, it's her wedding day, so I'm gonna save those stories for another time. You're welcome. Mine and Jensen's definition of our sisterhood is exactly that. You go 1 minute, we can be fighting, and if you know us, growing up that would happen quite frequently. And then 2 seconds later, it was like nothing ever happened, and we would be peppering in the front yard, and you know, we didn't have a care in the world. When Jensen left for college, it really did change my world. I didn't have my volleyball partner. I had to ride to school alone instead of riding with Jensen and sitting in silence listening to Taylor Swift the entire car ride. And I had no one to fight with besides Mom and Dad. I'm sorry. Luckily, we still talked when Jensen went to school like nothing ever changed. Of course, I finally finished college, and then Jensen was just beginning. We may have never been in school together, but we were still able to make the best of memories. I made sure she visited me, so she was somewhat prepared on how to bong a beer, politely pour out 30 beers just to keep us out of trouble, even if you're a poor college student. And at least she knew how to get into a bar as a blonde-haired girl named Paige. Although I think I succeeded in those departments, I'm not quite sure I was able to prepare her for life in Philly. And I definitely never expected her to eventually call Philly home. I'll never forget summer of 2017 when Jensen came home for break. She was acting all funny, and I kept seeing her phone light up with all these Snapchats and messages from Greasy. But that's all the information we were given. None more, not his name, nothing. It was just a mystery man. Well, as I'm sure you can guess, this mystery man is now her husband. Jensen meeting Matt has been one of the craziest, most amazing love stories ever. Growing up, I was so used to seeing Jensen bring out the best in the other person in the relationship. So it was so refreshing to finally see someone come into Jensen's life and bring out the best in her. You and Jensen challenge each other in the best way. I mean, the fact that you met at, 50-cent drink night tells us all we will ever need to know about both Jensen and Matt. I could not be happier that I'm dating yet another amazing brother. Jensen, you are so strong, determined, hardworking, smart, and beautiful. The list could go on and on, but we're trying to keep it short and sweet over here. I'm so happy you found your other half. You deserve more than anyone and anything in the world, and I wish you both nothing but a lifetime of pure love and happiness. Matt, thank you. She's now your pain in the ass.
Jensen, you look absolutely beautiful tonight, and Matt, officially welcome to the family. So let's all raise our glasses to the new Mr. and Mrs. Robinson.
Good evening. Before I get started, I'd just like to give one round of applause to the sheriffs for putting on such a wonderful event. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Matt's brother, older brother. I've known Matt since I was 2, and and while he ruined that, there's this beautiful video of my dad holding Matt when he was born in the hospital bed with my mom. He walked Matt over to me, put him in my arms, and I looked down at Matt. Matt looked at me for the first time. He immediately wailed and cried. I looked disgusted, gave him back, and our sibling rivalry was born. Now, despite that initial setback, Matt and I grew inseparable growing up, And that's not just because we had a code Adam called on us, which is child abduction, when we ran around independently. Sorry, Mom. As we grew, so did our competition in almost everything, especially for our parents' attention. But that was put to rest when our dog got the first Tempur-Pedic bed, and Matt and I had the same broken bunk beds for 13 years. It gets better. No, but our parents took us to almost every sporting event that you could think of: basketball, hockey, soccer, track. But as we grew, so did our competition on the pitch. And while our soccer matches started as practices, they ended up in wrestling matches. Our dad got frustrated every time, and he just couldn't understand we were practicing both of our main sports at once. One time it got particularly heated, and he took us both aside, and he said that you practice against yourself, and we immediately knew that was a lie. Later on that day, actually, my mom pulled me aside and said, "Hey, your younger brother looks up to you." And I thought that was a lie because earlier that day, Matt came swinging from his chin-up bar and drop-kicked me in the wall as I was walking down the hall, and then proceeded to hold his leg like he was trying to get a PK in the box. Someone shot him from far away, and I made all the commotion. Now, nonetheless, it was a wake-up call, and as I studied a little harder in school, worked a little bit more in the field, I found it quite hard to focus just on myself and not notice how much he excelled. If I won a trophy, he won a bigger trophy. If I got an A, he got an A+. If I got new cleats, he got the same pair but limited editions. It was infuriating. Now, even though we went to different colleges, I visited him several times where I saw his myriad of achievements in both athletics and academics. And about that time, I was introduced to Jensen. And I noticed that it became very obvious that they complemented each other as scholar athletes. But there was certain positive influences that she provided in Matt's skill set gaps, like foresight and preparation. I could go back and say how Matt forgot to bring his cleats to so many soccer matches over the years, but I wouldn't do that. As a recent hypothetical example, I'm sure Jensen was the mastermind behind this wedding, because if these invitations came out from Matt, they might have a event name, but they'd have no date, time, venue, location. But I'm sure as they continue on their years together, they'll contribute to bring out the best traits in each other and have each other to support. But before I want to toast, I thought it was my duty as the best man to provide some guidance to Jensen on how to live with Matt, and how to avoid those years of fighting early on that we so frequently. I spent several hours thinking about this and trying to figure out the best words to provide, but I didn't think I had any. But I did have something else. There's a little bit of a backstory, and we'll see if Matt remembers this. In elementary school, we had these coupon books called Kid Stuff, where we sell these giant booklets, 20% off Bed Bath & Beyond coupons for $25 a piece to raise money for your school. And Matt and I, around Christmas time, didn't have any money for each other because we were in elementary school. And so we took a page out of the Kid Stuff book and created homemade coupons for each other. And while I'm glad Matt found success as accounting and finance, I'm glad he did not find it as a lawyer, because there are no terms, conditions, or expiration dates on the coupons he gave me back in 2nd grade. So I still have them. And I'd like to give them to Jensen for one free day of happiness, one day of no fighting, one day of servitude, and many, many more. I'd appreciate it if you all could just raise your glass one more time and help me celebrate the newlywed couple, Matt and Jensen Robinson. Cheers.